Thursday. This is an open collaboration hosted by Sheree at Turquoise Dreaming. If you would like to participate, just use the hashtag Thrifty Thursday and link back to her channel, and I'll have that info in my description box. So this is sort of a conglomeration of a couple of estate sales, a few yard sales, and a Dollar Tree haul. These are my thrifty finds from the weekend. It rained really hard here late Friday night and into Saturday morning, and so one of our favorite once-a-year yard sales that is outside, like a multi-vendor yard sale, was not canceled, but it started late because of the rain. And so unfortunately, I have 3 sellers that I always look forward to seeing there because they have super unique, interesting items, and they were not there. So we were sort of bummed about that, but still, nonetheless, we found lots of fun things at a couple of estate sales and also a couple of churchyard sales, which are my favorite. The first thing that I got, it was at this multi-vendor sale. This is actually, I actually did get some aluminum folding chairs, the vintage kind with the wide woven, you know what I'm talking about, from the 70s. I've been looking for those for a long time. I found 2. If I could just find 2 more, I would have enough for my family to sit in. I just love them. So I was excited about that. But I also found this. This was sitting on a table of a lady who was obviously an artist. She was selling a lot of watercolor tablets and Liquitex acrylic paint tubes and things like that. But this was just sitting there, and I held it up because she was sort of far away from me when I saw it. And she came running over to me and said, "This book, it has been such a blessing to me. I love this book. I can let it go for $5. And I was kind of like, And then once I started looking inside of it and realizing what a treasure it was and how old it was, I happily paid her $5. It's probably worth a lot more than that. The inscription on the inside says something presented to my wife. I cannot read that part, but I can see the date says October 19th, 1893. Here's a little tip and trick for being able to read very faint pencil markings like this in an old book. If you take a picture of it with your iPhone or whatever you have, and then go into an image editing software, you can drag back and forth the little dials that let you change the contrast. I think contrast is the main one. Saturation really probably won't help you. Light and dark sort of controls where you have control over how the picture looks. And occasionally it will sort of take away all the muddiness that sort of blends the letters with the page, and it helps the image of the words pop out. I've actually done this for ancestry on headstones at cemeteries that were very weathered and hard to read, and once you add that contrast in the editing program, it's much more legible. So try that if you have a book like this that's really hard to see. And then on the back it says something Gibby Webb, something Detroit. So I'm assuming this is her name. She put it in there. But it's just a book that is poetry about flowers by many different people. But then glued in every 10 to 20 pages or so is a colored plate. I think that's what you call them. Beautiful. I did look online, and this book is fully scanned and in the public domain on a lot of the, the governmental websites, that the Library of Congress and things like that. So if you would like to look through this entire book, and probably, I think because it's in the public domain, these images are copyright free. I will not be deconstructing this one for junk journaling. As you can see, it is just amazing, and it's so small that I can just open it up and set it on a shelf and enjoy it that way, and take it down and flip through it. Only a couple of pages are torn out, but they're still in here. So it used to have gold gilding on the edges of the page, so that was a fun little find. That and the chairs, the only two things I got at this first vendor sale. Then we went to it was sort of an assisted living volunteer sale. So it's anything that is stashed away by the volunteers who work there. So I want to know something. If this is, my husband thought I was completely bonkers for picking this item up. I want to know what you would have done. This is I'm guessing late 60s, early 70s hot water bottle or cold water bottle. It says you can put either. Obviously, I grabbed it because I saw the packaging. I didn't even know what it was. At first, I thought it was some sort of like travel water bottle because I saw water bottle and I was like, oh, water bottle. But it's actually like one of the things in the cartoon, like a hot water bottle that's made of latex or rubber, probably not rubber, latex at this point. But it's still in here, guys, and I can't tell if it's been used or not. Obviously, I will not be using it, not just because of sanitary reasons, but I just don't want this thing to leak. Like if I put it in my bed to keep my feet warm or something, which is what I would probably use it for, I don't want it to bust open. But it is in great shape for the age. It looks like it may have never been used or only been used once or twice. It still has a price tag on it from Eckerd's. Do you guys remember Eckerd's? My mom used to buy a lot of our school supplies there. But it will be determined what I'm going to use this for. I don't know if I want to use the box as a display. If I had a shelf in my bathroom, because my bathroom's sort of 50s retro, that would be so fun to just put up on the shelf, but I don't have one. So I don't know. Would you guys have gotten this? So I don't even know how much this cost. Everything that I got that day was $10, and that included a pillow, like a quilted pillow, depression glass, creamer, and sugar. If you follow me on Instagram, you saw a picture of that once I got it home and cleaned it up. It's made by, oh goodness, the name just fell out of my head. I think I might have put it on there, maybe not. But it's not extremely valuable depression glass, but it is the uranium green that I do like. When I find it, I grab it because that's what my great-grandmother had. It's not the same pattern as what she had, but it's still beautiful. And so I got that, the sugar creamer, the pillow. I got a bag full of not sequins, confetti. And I've actually added some of the confetti to my shop because I got duplicates of tons of it. I don't need that much confetti, and those are great for shaker cards. I'm trying to remember what else I got. Oh, I got 4 napkins, and I'll pause the video and go get those too because they're beautiful. And so I paid $10 for everything. So I'm assuming, I kind of loosely estimated that every piece I got was $1. So would you guys have paid $1 for this? I'd love to know. And what would you do with it? Also at this same yard sale, this book was just sitting there. There were not many books there at all. But anytime I see an interesting book about the Bible, I get it. This is how to pronounce Bible names. And I thought the letters were pretty. The beginning of the headings under the alphabetical words. And this just tells, I'm assuming, I have not read the disclaimer at the beginning, but I'm assuming this is how you would say these words in the original Greek or Hebrew. I don't know, but still, whether or not I use this as a reference or if I use it in my journals, just amazing, huh? I think it's cool. We went to another churchyard sale and I found this. This is just nothing fancy, the Smith Corona brand, formerly Smith Corona, I think it's SCM. It's got a few pages ripped out, but whenever I see one of these for 50 cents or less, I get them because I love putting steno paper in my journals. At the same yard sale, look what I found. One of the Pyrex canisters. This is from the late 70s through the late 80s. I think the pattern is called Spice of Life. I will not use this in my kitchen. I will use this for storing journaling supplies. I don't know what yet. It will be determined later, but it was 50 cents, so I got this. I think my mom had a few things in this pattern, if I'm remembering correctly. Let me grab those napkins real quick. Okay, here they are. There were only 2 of each, but I grabbed them all. This reminds me of like the Sheree. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. The blue and white, but I know that I've also seen it in yellow. It's just beautiful. And napkins like this are perfect for journal covers. They're almost always just enough to cover a 9x6 journal. If you ever see napkins out in a thrift shop and you like the pattern and design and it's not too thick, because you need to be able to fold it over the corners of the book, of course. And then these were sort of tropical / summery. So they have some watermelons. I think these are peaches, plums or grapes, apples, and strawberries and cherries. So, and maybe Shasta daisies or something. But yeah, I don't know what the blue things are supposed to be. I don't know if they're like plates or what, but adorable and perfect for a summer or tropical themed journal, both of which I'm sourcing for right now. It does not feel like summer's on its way here. I don't know about y'all, but I feel like spring has sort of like come in backwards this year. The rain brought in cool temperatures and it's not supposed to get above about 65 all week. I'm not a fan. I mean, I'm okay with it. It's, hey, I'll take 65 any day over 35, but I'm ready for some 80s, 80s temperatures. All right, at one of the estate sales, look at this. My daughter spotted this. She loves anything that's like a throwback to the 80s. I guess you can call it granny chic or cottage core or whatever. And when she saw this mug with the geese with the blue rim, I was like, get it. So cute. Like, we need another coffee mug. We did come home and take one of the ones out of the cabinet that we no longer use. So that's our rule. If you bring home a new one, that's fine, but you got to take one out. Also at the church yard sale, I found a set of 4 valance panels. These were 25 cents a piece. That beautiful country mauve. But the reason I got them was this. It has that classic 80s style lace that's sewn onto the edge, and then there's another piece of pink down here. But I am going to be making a house and homebodies, houses themed journal at some point, probably late summer, early fall at this point. That looks kind of like a church. That might be a church. But see, here's a house and another house and little trees and little fences. So cute. And I thought this was the perfect size for both wrapping around the outside of a journal, but also a pocket, like a deep pocket. So I couldn't pass up 4 panels for 25 cents. So I will be disassembling this using the seam ripper to take the lace off and saving the lace. My daughter was like, we can hang the rest of them with the pink. I was like, I don't know. I like them, but I don't know if I want country curtains back in my house. I do love the look though. I think the 80s were amazing in many ways. Going with that 80s theme, my daughter and I also spotted these. Look at these. These are probably not vintage, but they've been making these for 30 years or more. These are just those little millinery or whatever roses. When I was about 11 and 12 and really into my dollhouse obsession, I would save up my money and go to Michael's and buy a few of these and bring them home and put them in little ceramic pitchers, and I'd have an instant rose bouquet that I could set on my dollhouse dining room table. So they had a bag of peach and a bag of mauve, and she had this in her hands originally, and I was like, for 25 cents, let's just get both. So I grabbed the mauve. I will be cutting these off too to use as embellishments in and on journals and what's inside a journal. Then we went to another yard sale across town, and she had tons of sewing patterns. Now, y'all, the last thing I need, honestly, is more sewing patterns, unless they are just like the image on the front is just amazing, and they're in great shape, and the colors are just, you know, bold and bright. Now, I would get those in a skinny minute. These, not so much. These have been through it. And so I picked out a few that were the least damaged and had, in my mind, the prettiest colors, and that were the most nostalgic that I would probably use to either make a journal cover or to sew down onto something to make a journal page. I could have taken more and just cut out the ladies and used those, but she wanted 50 cents a piece for them, and I just couldn't justify how much that would be just for 50 cents for a cutout of 2 ladies. I was like, I can't do that. So I got, I think, 5 or 6 here. So we have this one, Simplicity. Let's see if there's a year. This one does not have a year. Normally, I think Simplicity does, but this one does not. But I'm guessing late 50s, early 60s, maybe early to mid 60s. And then this adorable Butterick pattern with the little girls in the pink and purple. I've never seen this one before. Normally Buttericks don't have a date, sadly. But yeah, what would you guess for the date of this would be? I loved the colors on this one. I really don't need any more of the girls preteen patterns, but I still love them. You know, for a childhood themed little golden book, these make such fun pages to go in. Let's see if there's a date on here. This one's pinned. 1 second. 1967. Here's another cute one. I thought this would be cute as a happy birthday type, you know, a little golden book with more of a birthday theme. So picked this one up, and this one is 1967 also. This was fun. I got this because I liked her yellow pants. This one is pretty much split down the side, and I'm assuming heat is what damages this and makes it darken, so I will not be able to use the back, but I can use the front for sure. 1968. And the last one, I don't like McCall's for journal covers because they're too wide, but I can use the image for sure. And then this one is 1970. And I love the green, orange, and yellow. That's one of my favorite combos for retro journals. She had a couple of boxes of really old books, and I was very choosy as well. So I actually don't own any of these. This is my first one, so I'm excited to finally have one. These look like they had been stored in a crawl space or something. They're very musty, slightly moldy, so probably won't use the cover, but the inside looked fairly good. So I just picked a few of the ones that I thought I could use the illustrations from the best. Some of these are wood, not woodcut, the wood block print type things. But then there are full color pictures. I think they just took scans from some of their other books and put it into sort of a, you know, oh, so this one has an actual photograph. So the pages even feel different. Like these pages feel smoother than some of these. So this is Angus, and this is one of my favorite children's books ever. I thought it was neat that it was in here, although the colors are much different than in the original book. I love the colors in the original book. There's a lot of orange in here. And then here's a map at the back with Australia. And yeah, 50 cents, guys. And then this one is Grace Livingston Hill, which is it was one of my grandmother's favorite authors. Everything is dirty. I probably shouldn't have used this yellow material. But I loved the fact that it's one of her books, but also of what it's called and the way it looks. So I thought this would be a beautiful journal cover. I don't think there's any pictures in this one. Looks like it's been chewed on the edge. But yeah, just the pages are great. They're usable. They're not the brittle kind that you can't fold. So they would be great for dyeing and making ephemera out of. And then also at the same estate sale or yard sale, she just had this book, and you know, maybe 5 pages are ripped out, but it was a ledger that I had not seen before, or at least didn't have in my collection. So I'm gonna see if I can, these look like they may be glued in, so I probably won't be able to salvage the page vertically, but I can at least cut them out and fold them horizontally. And then the last yard sale item I have to show y'all is this photo album. Oops, it's upside down. Look at this amazingness. This looks like 80s all the way, but it looks like almost like the contact paper that you would have bought back then. Ring bound, and it's the sticky page. You know what I'm talking about. Looks never used. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think there's anything I can do with these for junk journaling. There may be someone out there who has found a way to utilize this type of page or book in junk journaling. If so, please let me know. I would love to know, because I don't like to throw away and waste anything. The book itself was only 10 cents. So if I throw these away, it's not going to be like my money wasted. But I would still love to know. If I end up taking them out and taking the ring out, I don't know how it's connected. I think it's just connected to this. So it looks like if I cut this, the whole thing will lift out. I thought this would be a fun ephemera holder, either leaving it as thick as it is, which is maybe 1/2 inch, or cutting it here and extending the spine. But it's just so 80s and awesome. And I thought it would make a fun ephemera holder, or maybe even a glue book. I think this is an 8.5 by 11 size, so it'd be real easy to hinge pages and put them in. Okay, so that's all of the yard sale items. Thank you for sticking through that. Now I want to show you the few things that I picked up at Dollar Tree yesterday. Just a few things. I went in there to get some graduation supplies for our son, for our little party we're having for him. But these are super glittery, which is, you know, I love glitter, but I don't often use it in my journal. But I thought for my tropical journals, this would be fun. This is a banner, so it has holes in it, but you can always line the back of this with decorative paper and then sew around the edges and make really interesting shaped journaling cards. So that's what I plan to do with this. And then these were still here from last year. This is not a new piece. I think this is maybe the 2nd or 3rd year they've had these. These are just paper cutouts. And I bought a journal from a maker named, her shop is called Eleanor's Ephemera Shop. She's super talented. I don't think she's making anything right now, but she did make a summery themed journal last year, and it was a giant journal. She's really good at making giant, tall, big journals. And she used these as journaling cards, and I thought that was so neat. Now, these are 2-sided. Though these are way bigger than anything I could use them for, I was like, I'm just gonna get it for $1.25 and see how I can be creative, whether or not it's I cut them and put them on the edge of a page or at the edge of a cover, or I fold it in a certain way, like fold this pineapple in half and make like a flip book. So if you guys have any ideas on how to use very large cardstock cutouts like this in journals, let me know. But yeah, I just went ahead and grabbed it anyway, just to have here, because they only had a few left. They had a ton more fabric put out than last time I was there. And they had a whole basket of coastal themed fabrics. They had some mermaids, lighthouses, but I saw this, and this was just it just screamed 80s, and it would be great for my tropical themed journals. I love the mint and the coral together, so I thought this was a great little find. I've been very impressed with the quality of the fabrics at Dollar Tree. Most of them look, they feel the weave is good. It's not a real loose, cheap weave. And for the most part, the patterns are very usable. And then I've been seeing these there forever, and I just have not picked one up until today or yesterday. This is just a paper pack. And so right here, there's a really, I don't know if this is 1 or 2 sheets, but it's, can you see it? It's heavily embossed, almost quilted. And then in the back here, we have some textured brown and then a lot of handmade looking paper with the little botanical petals and stems in it. So I was like, for $1, let's just get it. Is that it? Nope. Everyone has been getting this right here, and I have not seen it at my store until yesterday. I got so excited. This, it's called mesh ribbon, but it looks like grass. And there's so many different things you can use this for. So I was excited to get this. And then last but not least, I grabbed a bag of their alphabet beads. I like that the holes on this is bigger than the standard alphabet bead, even though the bead is smaller. I also like that the holes have colors inside. So I like to make little dangles with those, by the way. So that was my Dollar Tree haul, yard sale haul, thrift store. No, none of this is thrift store. Yard sale and estate sale haul. And I appreciate you watching as always. And if you would like to see what others have found this week for Thrifty Thursday, please search YouTube for that hashtag. And then if you participate, link back to Sheree's channel. I hope all of you have a wonderful afternoon, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.